So start seated today. So when we sit, we're going to start in Virasana. For a lot of us, this is a little uncomfortable. So I'll show two options. You can face forward. I'm just going to face you so you can see. But my block's going to go the long way. And then I'm going to sit on it. So it'll look like this. And then you want your feet in between. So you're sitting up. Even if you know you can get your butt all the way down to the ground, just for the sake of the practice to start, elevate yourself. If your knees are shot, because you want your knees together and your feet straight back. If your knees are shot, then you can sit on a block and sit Indian style with your knees down, crisscross applesauce. But I want your hips higher than your knees if you're doing it this way. Right. So find one of those choices. Tops of the feet down, knees together, elevated. So either which way, your hips are higher than your knees, right? And then you can have your palms facing open, your shoulders draw down your back, and just take a second to close your eyes. I know it's hard, but draw into yourself this morning. Sit up nice and tall. And allow yourself just to get a little quiet. And find a connection to your breath. Blink your eyes open, sweep your arms, even if you're in an Indian style position, sweep your arms out and up, such as this, and have your hands shoulder width distance. And breathe from your hips through your armpits, through your fingertips up as your seat lengthens down. Good, and then drop your right hand over, and if you need to use a block because you have short arms, that's fine. And you're gonna stretch up and over just a little bit. I like to tent the fingertips. And you might need to crawl your arm out a little to the side. Yeah, depending on your body, and stretch up and over. You don't wanna dump, you wanna lengthen, so it may just be a little bit of a movement, very subtle. Keep your seat rooted so you're not lifted up off the floor or the block, and find some space. Good, pull to center, wrap your right arm up, reach up a little higher, like almost wiggle your torso up. Drop your left hand down. You may need to crawl it over, use a block underneath the hand. Slide up and then come up and over. Good. And just be here. And feel the side ribs getting longer. Your seat rooting down. Pull up to center, wiggle both arms straight up, good. And then drop them straight forward like this, like you're holding a tray. Wrap your left arm under, and rather than just yanking down, lift your elbows up, just pause here. If this is unavailable, you grab opposite shoulders, you just give yourself a little hug. Sweep your arms out and up. Bring your arms forward again, and then wrap the right arm underneath the left, or whatever arm you didn't do yet. Rather than yanking down, lift up. So if you have shoulder issues, definitely back out of this, and just don't do as tightly wrapped, or do a little less. Good, unravel your arms, sweep out and up. Draw your hands to prayer. Move the block out from underneath. Come to a tabletop position. Curl your toes into the mat. Have your hands an inch forward, more forward in front of your shoulders. And then on the same breath, on the same exhale breath, extend your right arm and your left arm and your right leg, excuse me, your right leg and left arm. I'm really tricking myself here. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Let's go with that. And then on the exhale breath, lower, and then opposite arm, opposite leg. So you're gonna go like this a few times. Flex the foot strong, reach in opposite directions, hand and knee to the floor, reach and stretch opposite directions, find some space, some length, drive the core towards the back of the spine, hand and knee down, opposite arm, opposite leg. Hand and knee down, opposite arm, opposite leg, and then this time you're gonna reach your arm back and grab your ankle and kick up and back. Fire up the thigh, press firm into the hand that's down on the ground, lead with your chest. I like to flex the foot because it activates the thigh and the psoas. Good. Arm and leg stretch in opposite direction one more time. Hand and knee come to the ground, make that connection, and then opposite arm, opposite leg, reach. Reach the arm back and then see if you get hold of your ankle, your foot. Try to keep your chest facing down, plug the left palm into the mat. I like to flex the foot because it's going to fire up a little more. Steer the chest forward. Keep your drishti, your gaze on one spot. Reach and stretch your arm and your leg in opposite direction. Find space. Hand and knee come to the ground. Good. Curl the toes under, lift the hips, dog. Bend behind your knees as much as you need this morning. Spread your toes wide. Yeah. Good. Pay attention to little things like such as your thumb, your index finger, your baby finger. Yeah, plug them down into the mat and then use your outer arms and wrap them in to your triceps. Good. Breathe your hips up really high this morning. And actually do this. Keep your arms the way they are. Rise all the way up onto your tippy toes, super, super high. So really, really high on your tippy toes. Draw your belly in. So you're high, high, high on your tippy toes. Scoop out your belly, press firm through your hands. And then very, very slow, start to melt your heel a little closer to the ground. You may need to soften behind your knees a little bit more. The center part of your heel starts to drop down. And then roll forward to plank. You may need to walk out from dog to plank to find that sweet spot. Drive your chest forward, fix your eyes on the front skinny edge of the mat. Yeah, lengthen your tailbone. If you need to modify, the knees drop behind you. Always just remind you of these little things. Exhale, breath, rock more weight forward onto your tippy toes. Hold. Connectivity with your breath. Your focus, drive your hands and your toes into the ground, hips up and back dog. Roll forward plank. Yeah. Drop your knees if you need support, lower halfway to a push-up, chaturanga. Re-straighten your arms to a plank position, hips up and back dog. Roll forward plank. Yeah. Lower halfway to a push-up. Lower all the way down to your belly. Reach your left arm forward, bend your right leg up. Two knees touch, right hand grabs the outside of your ankle. Kick your right foot a little bit into your right hand, then reach your left arm and your left leg up off the floor. Keep your neck long. If you can't grab your ankle, just create the shape. So you just reach back and extend the hand to the back edge of the mat. That's it. Lift a little higher. Exhale the breath, let it go and switch. Right arm, right leg, long, left hand behind you, grab your ankle. Give that left hand into your left foot a little energy and then reach and stretch in opposite directions like a half floor bug. Keep your neck long, try not to look forward. Look down, yeah. Release, hands to your lower ribs, right here, kind of where your ribs and your belly button meet. This is Cobra Pose. Lead with your chest a little, press with the tops of the feet, just pause. Seat to heels, child's pose. Energetically reach your arms forward. Let your seat spread across the tops of your feet. Great. So as we move through the practice this morning, keep those things in mind because you can move through vinyasas when you do all these push-ups, with push-ups, without push-ups, with up dog, with baby cobra. Hips up and back to a downward facing dog. Good. Look to the top of the mat. Take 2 big steps to get there this morning, or 20 if you feel tight. Long spine, weight is forward. Soften behind your knees a little. Exhale, fold into yourself. Let your head go. There you go. Root to rise, come all the way up. Yeah, do it slow. Sweep your arms out and up, and then draw your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Decide if you want to practice with your feet together or a little separated. I generally start with a little separation, like hips width, and then they come together. Sweep your arms out and up. Look up a little. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your weight pull you forward. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare you. Plant your palms and step to plank. Yeah, step to plank. Once you arrive in plank, everyone's vinyasas are a little different. So if you're taking the push-up, lower halfway. If you're just holding, just hold the push-up. If you're pulling through to an up dog or cobra, go for that now. Press strong through the feet and the top and the hands. And then hips press up and back to a down dog. Clearing the cobwebs, each one we do. Look where you want to go. Step or float your feet to the top. Get there nice and light. Long spine, keep that weight forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Anchor. Drag your hands to prayer heart. Drop your arms. From the top, arms slide straight up towards the sky. Go big. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your weight carry you forward. Long spine, prepare you. Step to plank. Halfway to your push-up. Breathe yourself open in an up dog or cobra. I press back personally to push up. And then hips back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Let your extension come all the way from your lower back. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Go again. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Look up a little. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare. Step to plank. If you know you can float through a vinyasa and go right to chaturanga, hop back light. Drag yourself through a back bend, up dog or cobra. Hips up and back, downward facing. Spread your toes wide in your dog. Let your head just be heavy and neutral. Then look where you want to go, keeping your arms straight. Step or float your feet to the top. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. One more. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. Meet in the downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Roll forward plank. Hug your right knee towards your navel. Scoop out your belly. Arms are straight up and down. Look forward with your eyes. Land your right foot all the way forward and through. Beyond your fingertips, drop your knee on an angle. Keep your toes curled. Sweep your arms up to a supported lunge. Yes. Wrap your left arm underneath your right arm if it's available. Pause here. Yeah. Rather than yanking down, you can lift up a little so your shoulders and your elbows are in the same line of energy. And then just look straight forward. Grip your right hip in strong. Feel your breath moving through your body. Unravel your arms to the sky. Yeah. Slide your hands to your hips. Activate your back left knee and come up slow into a lunge like this. Keeping your hands on your hips, the lower half of the body is moving down. The upper half of the body is moving up. Activate the muscles of your back left quadricep. Squeeze your right hip in. Grow the arms back up towards the sky. Slide your hands to prayer, lean forward an inch and air twist to the right. Just a little movement to the right without hooking. Grip the right hip in, activate the back leg. Look sideways or look up. Left hand tense, right arm peels, stack the arms, easy twist. A block underneath the hand can be really helpful for a lot of us. Paying attention to a few things, making sure that your right knee doesn't wrap out. It hugs in, yes. And your left shoulder doesn't collapse inward. So that's why a tented hand or a block can be very helpful for a lot of us. If having the right arm straight up towards the sky feels a little creaky, right hand can always just be on the flat part of your back. Good. Look to the floor, place both hands down. Keeping your feet where they are, just turning your left foot on a strong angle like this. Pull up on the front of the right shin and pull yourself into a triangle from the ground up. Soften behind the right knee a little. You never want that front leg pinned straight. Back leg is really anchored. Side ribs are nice and long, and stack the two shoulders. Look sideways or look up. Good. So focusing on your inner and outer thigh strength, your core stability, your oblique muscles supporting your lower back, and the pose, your neck staying neutral, and your drishti finding a soft focus. If you feel you can support the posture and add a little bind this morning, it's there for you. What will happen is your arms will wrap behind you, you'll interlace your hands. Little bend behind the elbows or straight arms, up to you, but you're going to turn your bottom ribs, look sideways, look up. If this is not there for you today, it's okay, just stay in regular triangle, 3 more breaths. Press strong through your feet and legs. If you took this little funky bind, right hand down, left arm extends up. Good. Look to the floor, circle both hands down. Left palm's gonna come flat. What I want you to do is drop to your left knee, pivot the left toes out, and stack into a modified side plank, guys. Stack the 2 shoulders, lift the right leg up, or you can have your right foot grounded too. Lift it hip height, and then reach back, grab the ankle, and kick behind you for a little bound Shavasana with the bottom knee down. Great, you all got it. Nice work. Stay with it, couple more breaths. Good, let's try a funky transition. First, look down with your eyes. Keep the bind, keep your right hand around your left ankle or close to it. You're gonna square off, okay? You're gonna pivot towards this little tabletop. Hug your right knee in and then slide your right foot forward and through. Come to both fingertips. Didn't work out, it's okay. Widen the left leg. So now you're back in this low lunge. Grip your right hip in strong. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. Yep. Squeeze your right hip under, left ribs toe, go forward, come up, warrior 1. So we always do everything the same. Everything's always the same. If we try to do things a little bit differently, sometimes we find something new. Anchor down, breathe, look up a little. Take it to the floor through a vinyasa or right to down dog. It's up to you. Meet me in a downward facing dog. Then roll forward to plank. Hug your left knee in, scoop out your belly. Your arms are straight up and down. Activate your back leg more. Look forward with your eyes. Good, land your left foot all the way forward and through. Be in a low lunge for a second. Make sure the stance is long enough and wide enough. Drop the back knee on an angle, keep the toes curled into the mat. Then bring yourself up to a supported lunge. Do this first, take a few cycles of breath. Look forward with your eyes. Focus on hugging your left hip in. Yeah, I like the back thigh on a strong angle. Keep the shape of the lower half of the body. Wrap your right arm underneath your left. If you think you confused the arm and you've already done it, just do the other side. Rather than yanking down, lift the elbows up in line with the shoulders. Look forward, find a drishti. Connect to your breath this morning, Ujjayi breathing. Unravel your arms to the sky, feel the blood flow to the fingertips. Slide your hands to your hips, pause. With your hands pressing down, integrate the back leg slow and pop up into this low lunge. So you want to feel like you can give the lower half of the body a little energy. Get heavy in the front standing thigh rather than the knee. Your knee is always over your ankle. Drift the arms up towards the sky. Let them crawl up. Keeping the lower half as it is, hands come to prayer. Lean out about 2 inches. Air twist to the left. It's a very baby, it's a small movement. Hands in prayer. Left hip hugs in. Activate your back leg strong. Look sideways, look up. Less is more. Right hand opens or goes to the floor, or block, left arm peels, easy twist. If the left shoulder feels crickety or cranky, left palm can go to the flat part of that lower back. A block is great underneath the hand to create some stability and support. I'll remind you, make sure that your left leg doesn't wing out. Hug it in. Watch that your right shoulder doesn't roll in. Stack it up nicely. Squeeze the muscles around the back, right quadricep and hamstring. Yes, and your glute. Spread your toes wide. Look to the floor, place both hands down. Just move your block forward. Good. Keep the feet where they are. Just begin to pivot the back foot on an angle and pull up into triangle. Soften behind the left knee, side ribs long. Stack the arms up, look up. Soften the shoulders down the back, hug your outer and inner hips in. If you want to add the bind, drop your arms, clasp the hands, little bend to your elbows or straight arms. Turn your bottom ribs, look up. You have to keep a little bend to your front leg. If you bound, left palm down, right arm up. Restack. Look to the floor, both hands come down. Lean on your right hand, drop your right knee, swing it out to the side, stack up into supported side plank, looks like this. You can have your left foot to the floor too. If something funky is going on with balance, this is fine. I like to lift the leg and then add the half bind. Good, if something's going on with the shoulder, you know you can always come up onto tented fingers and create less like intensity. Side ribs long. Yeah, so when you kick in Shavasana, any of these binds, the kick goes behind you. That's it. All right, we're going to try this funky little transition. It may or may not work out for you. Don't beat yourself up. Palm goes flat. Pivot the hips, hug the knee in, and then slide the left foot forward. Integrate the back knee, you're in a low lunge. Hug the left hip in. Turn the back foot on a strong angle. Integrate the legs for warrior one, and then rise up. Yes, spin the right ribs forward, hug your left hip in. You can always pitch a little forward with your torso. Look up with your eyes. Press strong to the blade of your back right foot. This looks great, guys. Perfect. Hands come down to frame your front foot, move through a vinyasa or pause in dog. Up dog if you're taking, press to the hands, to the tops of the feet, hips up and back, downward facing. Deep breath in. Aren't we having fun? Deep breath out. Look where you want to go, step or float to the top. Get there light. Long spine, keep the weight forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Sit into chair, weight moves into your heels. Chair with your feet together. I've been doing it with my feet apart now for some time now, and it feels pretty good. Or better, I say better. Let's free flow. Let's fold over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare, step or float through your vinyasa. So you can just go to a dog and just be happy there. You can add in extra fancy stuff. You can take out what you want. Once you get to down dog, slide your right foot forward for warrior one, or crescent lunge if your lower back is sensitive. Hands come back down to the floor through a vinyasa. Plank through chaturanga is the norm. Up dog, hips up and back down dog. The left foot lands on your own beat, on your own breath. Warrior one, crescent lunge, any of those options work. Back down we go through a vinyasa. Yeah, upward facing, breathe your heart open. Hips up and back, downward facing, we get ourselves together. You don't have to go again, Michelle. Just be in down dog. Just be in down dog. I know you're super excited. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Upward facing dog. Now I'm ahead of myself. Long spine. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair, weight moves into your heels. Stick your butt way back. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, just let it flow. Long spine to prepare, step or float through your vinyasa. Up dog is smooth, try not to jam into your lower back, be careful there. Hips up and back, down dog. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one or crescent lunge. Back down we go through a vinyasa. Upward facing, point the toes. Hips up and back, downward facing. Left foot lands, back foot turns. You want to move on your exhale breath. Back down we go through vinyasa. Upward facing, point the toes. Hips up and back, downward facing. Breathe and hold. With your arms super straight, look where you want to go. Step or float your feet there to the top. Long spine on the inhale, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Sit again into a chair, move the weight back into your heels and sit really deep. Look forward or look up with your eyes. The weight's in your heels. Dive over bent legs, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare, step or float through your vinyasa. Up dog is smooth, hips up and back, down dog. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one, come on up. Back down we go, vinyasa or not. On your own breath, left foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. Hands back down through vinyasa. When you get to down dog, slide your right foot forward again, turn your back foot strong, warrior one, come up and hold. Yeah, rip your right hip in strong, pivot your left ribs forward, drop your arms. Just be here for a second. Feel the lower half of the body secure. Feel the outer blade of your back foot really pressing, and then clasp your hands like loosely behind your back. If you have more openness in your chest, your arms can straighten, and the eyes of the shoulders move back. Sit a little heavier on your front thigh. Inhale your breath, look up with your eyes. Exhale, come forward for humble. You can rest your stomach on your thigh. You can snuggle in. If you snuggle in, don't open your hips. Hips are forward. I like resting my stomach on the thigh and just pausing and holding. Extension of the neck is long. Hugging of your right hip firm in. Strong activation of your back left leg. And then I try and draw my hands away from my lower spine. So in these moments when we hold, this is where the good stuff happens. Be patient. Quiet your mind by using your breath. Press strong through your feet and legs. Bring just your torso up. Keep your hands bound. Straighten your right leg on track. Okay? Keep your hands bound. Scoot your back foot in about an inch. You have to pivot your whole torso so it faces forward. Inhale your breath, lift your heart and chest. Exhale, come down. Forward fold. Keeping your hands bound is ideal. If for some reason this is nagging you, you can separate your hands, you can rest them on the ground. You can use blocks as well. Yes, you want to breathe your right hip up and let your head go down. The back leg is strong. The front leg has a little bend. Jessica, try and walk your right foot a little bit more to the right. Yeah. Yeah, so a little bit of a wider position with your feet is going to give you more stability. Great. So you're like breathing yourself in half here. Anchor through your legs and feet. Come halfway up, pause. Come the rest of the way up. So stand up tall. The legs are straight. Sweep your arms straight up towards the sky. Yeah, bring your right hand on your hip. Come halfway down. Steer your right hip back. Come the rest of the way down. So use your block here. Place it underneath your left hand. Your block on the right hand on the flat part of your back. Look sideways. And then stack up, twisting triangle. I always come back. Twisting triangle. We're still in twisting triangle. All right, you're still there. It's a good thing. Step to the top of the mat, sit into chair. It's good. You held the pose nice and long. I always come back. Sit into chair. Hands to prayer at heart. Inhale the breath. Hook the elbow, twist to the right. My IT department's not here. We're going to be screwed. Yeah. Weights in your heels. Look sideways, look up. You're in chair twist, Michelle. I know. At the top of your back. Get a little heavier in your legs. Steer your hips to the back edge of the mat. Breathe your heart open. Chair pose, pull up. Yes, heavy in the lower half of the body. Dive over, bend knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips and prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. Good. Up dog if you're taking. Hips up and back, downward facing. Land your left foot forward. Turn your back foot strong. Warrior one. Come on up. Anchor through the outer blade of your back foot. Get heavy in the front thigh. Drop your arms by your side body. Clasp your hands. Opposite grip if you can remember. Inhale. Breathe your heart and your chest open. Exhale. Come forward. Humble. Rest your stomach on your thigh. Let your head just be nice and long and neutral. Now you know where we're going on this side. Outer blade of your back foot presses firm. Yeah, outer hip hugs in. Steer the right rib step forward. There you go. And you can have your arms a little bent if you need to. You're still in humble, holding and breathing. So pay a lot of attention to the lower half of the body. Lower half of the body is going to stay super engaged. Just pull the torso up. Yeah, keep your hands bound, straighten your left leg. Scoot your back foot in about an inch. Pivot your right ribs forward. Inhale your breath, lift your heart. Exhale, come down over that front thigh. Soft bend in the front leg, back leg strong. You want to breathe your left hip up. If having the hands bound is not working, place the hands directly down on the floor or blocks. Fold. Let your head just be heavy and breathe. You can have your hands to the floor, Michelle. You can bend your front leg a little. Yeah, there you go. Less painful. 2 more breaths. Nice work. If your hands are bound, the goal is to lift them away from you. So squeeze the lower half of the body nice and tight. Come halfway up. Pause. Press firm through your legs to your hips. Come the rest of the way up. Keeping your legs straight, slide your arms straight up towards the sky. So the arms and the legs are straight. Left hand to your hip. Come halfway down. Steer your left hip back. Reach out with your right hand. Walk underneath that right hand or shoulder. Left hand flat on the back. And then slide yourself into twisting triangle this way. Steer the hips back. Anchor through the feet and the legs. So I like the stability of the block underneath the hand. It really stacks up the shoulder, but if you don't have a block, your hand can press into the front of the shin like this. Twisting open here. And because we hold the other side, we held the other side so long, we'll be here for a few more breaths. Rather than looking back, look sideways or look up, and that's going to help you keep your chest nice and open here. Two more. Look down, place both hands to the floor. Step to the top of the mat. You may need to bring your feet together if you're taking chair that way. Sit into chair pose. Heavy in the lower half of the body as you sit deep into chair. Slide your hands to prayer. Inhale your breath. Hook the elbow. Twist to the left. Yes. Make sure that the knees, the feet, the shins are all lined up nicely. Look sideways, maybe look up. You got it. Sit a little deeper. You got to get in there a little bit more. Weight stays in your legs. Pull around to chair. Challenge yourself here. See if you can sit a little lower. Like drop your butt a lot lower. Lift your chest a lot higher. Look up with your eyes, keeping your neck neutral. Shoot up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Just stand for a second, guys. Have your blocks at the top of the mat. Yeah. Standing on your right leg, you're going to kick your left leg up like you're kicking your butt, and you're going to reach with one or both hands. So it's going to look like this. Draw the shoulders down the back, flex the foot. If you can't create the shape, if you can only grab with one, make sure your hand is activated. If you can't grab with either, you're just going to create the shape like this. You got it. Soften behind your right knee a little. Yes. Breathe your chest open. Now, kick your foot into your hand and hinge forward about 2 or 3 inches. That's it. Fire up your outer right hip and flex the foot. Breathe your chest open and pause here. Fix your eyes on something that's not moving, and if you fall, try it again. Another big breath in. Stay with it. Pull your torso up. Let your hands go and slide your left leg up. So you're just going to stand like this. Reach your arms forward. Wrap your left arm under. Wrap your left thigh around. Eagle. Steer your knees forward. Get heavy in the standing right leg. Look forward with your eyes. If you can't get your foot around your calf, it's okay. Get heavy in that standing right leg. Sit a little deeper. Another big breath in. Stay with me, guys. You're going to transition to half moon. So look down, look for a block. Keeping your right foot forward. Unravel nice and slow. Half moon. Do your best work. If it didn't work out, it's okay. Right foot has to stay forward. Stack the body parts the best that you can. Look up with your eyes. A block is very, very helpful off the edge of that right baby toe. Yeah. Breathe your left leg up, hip height, stack the 2 arms, and then see if you can look sideways or look up. Stay with me. To get a little lighter in your right hand, keep your right foot forward, hug your right hip in, look down, take a giant step back, warrior 2. Mine was a little fancy. Warrior 2. As I fall on my face. Open up your chest nice and wide, get heavy in your legs, and be here for 5 breaths. Yes, bend into your front thigh. Open up your chest a little wider. Wrap your right thigh open, and make sure your left toes are on a little angle. Looks good, Maria. Good. Flip your palm, reverse the warrior. You're like, thank God. Going into a B variation of extended side angle. So go through warrior 2 and then reach out and place a block on the instep. You got it. So go inside a foot, right hand on the inside of that foot, left arm up. You can also rest your arm on the top of the thigh. This is totally fine. Moving on to a half bind if you have it in your practice. Your hand wraps around. So the hand could be on a block on the instep. Your arm could be on the top of the thigh. Half bind. The goal here is to open up your chest and your heart. Get heavy in that standing leg and breathe the collarbone open. Look sideways, look up. 5 breaths. The right hip has a tendency to want to jut out, so hug it under and turn those bottom ribs open. Lean back a tiny bit more, and then unravel your left arm to the sky and stay real heavy in your legs as you pull back up to warrior two. Look forward, circle it through a vinyasa, clear it out, guys. Up dog, if you're taking, should feel good. Fire up the hands, press firm through the tops of the feet. Hips up and back, down dog. Look to the top of the mat, step or float your feet there. Long spine weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. Have your blocks at the top of the mat. Good. So you're going to stand on your left leg now and bend your right leg up. Get hold of your ankle and foot. So you're creating a series of back bends here in your torso and your shoulders. Soften behind the left knee. Flex the foot strong and fire up a little and just pivot a little bit forward, like 2 or 3 inches. It's not even a full warrior three and it's not even a full king dancer. We're meeting in the middle today. Fix your eyes and just focus on little subtle things. The movement of your left hip hugging in, the firing up of your right thigh, and the hugging in of the eyes of the shoulders. Stability, breath, grounding. Start to bring your torso up. Let go of your foot. Hug your right knee in. So you're just standing up with your right leg in. Drive your arms forward like you're handing a tray to someone. Wrap the right arm, wrap the right leg, eagle. You can't get your foot to come around, just use it like a kickstand. Sit heavy in the lower half of the body. Squeeze down the center, look forward. Little bit of an up dog in your chest. Fix your eyes and just breathe. So as we transition right now, focus on that standing left leg. Hug the hip in and keep the foot forward. We're transitioning to half moon. Make it as seamless as you possibly can. Use a block and open up. Stack the body nicely. Lift the right hip as high as that right foot. Stack the 2 arms, then look sideways or look up. Soften behind your left knee, everybody. It's going to help you out. Last 3 breaths. So soften behind your left knee, keep your left foot forward, get a little lighter in your bottom hand. Take a giant step back, warrior two. Warrior two. Turn your back foot on a strong angle, wrap the left side open, breathe the collarbone open. Few breaths, just settle in. It's good stuff, guys. You're gonna bend heavy into that standing left thigh. This is where the work happens, right here. Good, keep the shape of the lower half of the body, reverse your warrior. Flip your palm and just let your back hand slide softly down the back of the thigh. It's not an aggressive thing here. Come back to warrior two and get ready for your B variation. Either your arm rests on the top of the thigh or your hand to the instep of your foot. You got it. Perfect. And then if you're moving on, your hand can come to your hip for a half bind or you can wrap around. And then open up the collarbone and the chest. You want to look sideways, look up. Stay heavy in that front thigh. Grip the left hip in. Turn the bottom ribs. And breathe. Few more, stay with it. Heavy in that front side, guys. Keep the breath flowing. Extend your right arm up. Use the strength of your right arm and your right leg. Pull up warrior two, iron it out. Look forward, take it to the floor through a vinyasa. Through a vinyasa. You're doing great. Up dog if you're taking. Hips up and back, down dog. Right foot lands, crescent lunge. Come on up. Hands come to prayer. Lean out. This time you get to hook and twist. Yay. Yeah, if you need a little saving grace, the knee coming down to the floor is really helpful. Another one of those poses, we don't want to look all the way back. Look sideways or look up, because the goal is to keep our spine long. Yeah. Awesome. Stay with it a little longer. Good. Look to the floor, place both hands down. If your knee is not touching the ground, drop it down. So I use a block for this. I slide my whole palm on the block, a little out in front, like this. Then my right arm's going to wrap back. This can be as far as you go for today. You can kick your foot up and grab hold of your ankle. It's full pigeon. If you want to work a little bit more into the front hip, turn your right foot out on an angle and let your right thigh drop open. If you don't need the block, you can drop down onto your forearm, but peel your torso open. I need the block. Let me see how you're all doing with that. If getting the bind doesn't work, don't bind. Yes, if having your knee dropping open doesn't feel good, keep it forward. Like these are all basic things. Just watch that shoulder, Holly, that it's not rotating in. Yep. Great, good adjustment. Nice, Maria, that looks really good. Two more. Let go of the foot, okay? Take both hands to the floor, crawl yourself back, flex your foot, take your block with you, take it up high, left palm directly underneath the shoulder on the block, right hand to the flat part of your back. Flex your foot strong, this could be it, look sideways or stack up. 3 breaths, hug the hips in, flex the right foot strong. Both hands down, move the block forward, crawl back to this low lunge, step through a vinyasa. Keep it going, down dog. Left foot lands, crescent lunge, come on up. Hands come to prayer, lean out, hook, and get in there. Crescent with a twist. Activate the muscles around the back leg if you're opting to keep the back knee not lifted. Lean back a little bit and hug your left hip under you as you twist. You can open up your arms if you want more, or you can just stay. Look sideways or look up. It's very, very helpful for a lot of us. Sometimes we have the tendency to just like look backwards. And then are you breathing? Or are you just counting down the seconds for me to say it's time to get out of the pose? Try to enjoy it, even if it's challenging. Couple more. Hug that outer hip in, activate the muscles around the back leg. Look to the floor, place both hands down. If the knee is not already down, drop it down. Use your block to just set up, and then you can always get rid of it. So the further out that your block goes, the more challenging it's going to be. So right underneath the shoulder for a lot of us, a little bit more on an angle. The left arm reaches back, then you can kick your foot in and up, get hold of your ankle. So play around with this. Maybe you need to be high on the block and a little bit more upright. Maybe you can get down onto your forearm. Maybe you want to turn your toes out and let your thigh drop open. Today's a little bit more like pigeon with lizard sensation. Maybe the foot needs to be forward. We're staying for a few breaths. So see if you can find a spot that you can just hold and breathe and get a little bit more open. Two more. So if you're down on your form, pop yourself back up in your palm. Let go of your foot. Walk both hands to frame the front foot. Move the block with you as you extend your left leg out. Be straight up and down on your right leg. Use the block so it's underneath your shoulder. Hand on the flat part of your back. The more you flex your left toes, the more you're going to feel. Stack the body open here. Look sideways, look up. Breathe. Hug the hips in. So if you're flat on your back right foot, it's going to be harder to balance. I have my toes curled. Good work. Look to the floor, take both hands down. Move the left leg forward, plant the palms, listen carefully. Tabletop position. Like we started right here. Curl the toes into the mat, tabletop. Extend the right leg and the left arm. Reach back, grab the ankle, kick up and back. Hold here, 5 reps. Reach the arm and the leg in opposite directions. Keep the right leg lifted. Take the left hand down. Lift your hips up to a 3-legged down dog. Flex the right foot strong and hug the left hip in. Come forward and sweep your right knee forward, half pigeon. Let your whole body just melt, fold. It's not a super long hold. Enjoy it. To get out of it today, karate chop the mat with your arms like this. Curl the left toes into the mat. Slide the right leg back, forearm plank holds here. You can always drop your knees if it's too intense. Lead with your chest. You can have your palms flat. Activate the legs. Hug the outer shoulders in. One hand at a time, plank position. Drop your knees, tabletop. Curl the toes. Yep. Left leg back, right arm forward. Slide into this bound version here where you kick up and back. So it's a bound version of a back bend. Steer the chest forward. Round your right hip in. Focus your dristi. Fire up your left hand and the outer left tricep. Quiet your mind. Reach and stretch in opposite directions to release. Keep the lift of the left leg, but just bring your right hand down. Lift the hips to a 3-legged down dog. Don't open the hip. Look forward with your eyes. Land your left knee forward, half pigeon. Fold in half. Let your whole body just go. Use the strength of your body to bring your torso up this time. Lean onto your left side and swing your right leg forward. Take your block with you. Lay down. Walk your feet in close enough so it's like you're setting up for bridge. Slide your block any direction that works. It could be low, it could be medium, or it could be high. Clasp your hands around the block. Anchor your feet. Supported bridge. The higher you go, the more of a back bend you're going to get. There's a series of back bends happening. If you can clasp your hands around that block, make sure the feet are forward, breathe your chest open, your collarbone open. And then if you're ready for a little bit more, it's up to you. You can extend one leg at a time towards the sky till they both extend up. If you have your hands bound around that block, that's really what we're looking for. Make sure the legs don't move forward towards you. Woohoo! I saw that, Rima. Nice and easy. Close your eyes and just pause here. Your hands are bound around the block. Split them apart. Get your palms flat with your arms energetically reaching forward. Bend one knee at a time. Bring the feet down slowly to the floor. Using the strength of your body, lift your hips up just an inch off the block and then kind of kick the block out from underneath you. Lower your hips down. Hug your knees towards your chest. Give them a giant squeeze. Reach for the outer blades of your feet for happy baby and melt your lower spine towards the ground as you broaden your shoulders to the floor. You can rock a little right, a little left. That's a little bit more dead bug. I don't know who came up with the names of these poses, but it's pretty funny if you really think about it. Dead bug, happy baby. Hug the knees in tight, squeeze them in. Slide yourself into a comfortable position for the most important pose of them all, Shavasana. You could put on the final song in the playlist. You could throw your phone away. You can put on your bathrobe and your slippers, close your eyes, just rest. Fill up your body with a giant breath in. At the top of the breath, hold it for a split second, and then a loud, full exhale breath out. Wiggle your fingers slowly, followed by your toes. Slowly move your arms up over the top of the head and give yourself a wonderful full body stretch. Hug your knees to your chest. And in your own way, in your own time, rock yourself up. Some of you may just want to stay if you can. Sit up nice and tall. Imagine, what did you do today? I took a 2-hour Shavasana. That would be something to talk about. Sit up nice and tall. Let the shoulders draw down the back. We come full circle this morning, hands to prayer. Bow your head for a moment. Connect to yourself. So being grounded is a gift. You just did that. Lift your head, open your eyes. Namaste. Awesome practice. Sorry about the Wi-Fi glitch. Glad we worked it out. Back in person tomorrow, Thursday. Back on Zoom Friday. Catch you then.